Hi Flosstube, I hope all's well. My name is Kirsty, Crafting Kirsty, here on YouTube and on Instagram. This is a Flosstube, normally about all my cross stitch, quilting, crochet, other crafts that I fancy having a go at. However, today's video is purely about cross stitch. It is Thursday, 16th of September 2021, and it's a lovely day outside. So I hope you're all well. I hope you've all had a good summer. I haven't been here since July, which was planned, and is also part of the reason why this is only cross stitch. I have a lot of new starts, not so much progress, but a lot of new starts, and a shed load of haul, a real shed load of haul. But I'm saying it is 2 months worth, so you know it'll be fine. Just looking at my notes, excuse me. So I missed filming in August due to harvest, which is now done and dusted. Thank you very much. It all went well. We always tend to have the year of, a bit like Friends always titled their episodes with the one where. We always have harvest time is always the year when. And this year was my year. So I was hauling corn back and forth from the field. And on one of my trips, I managed to forget to shut the grain chute on the back of the trailer. So I left a nice trail of corn all the way down one of the roads until someone pointed it out to me. And just to add insult to injury, it was the road that we live on. So every time John has had to go out and come back in again, he sees a nice trail of profit lying down the road. But there we go, shit happens. I am, as I said, this one is purely about cross stitch. And I think I might well start to split my videos up a little bit. I will probably film a quilting video in about another couple of weeks and sort of film one of those every 6 to 8 weeks. My videos have got excessively long and it seems to take me all day to record them. So I'm hoping if I just do quick brief updates or quicker briefer updates, that will be better for all involved. But I will still do my cross stitching once a month. The quilting will be a bit longer, and crochet and other crafts will just probably be occasional pop-up videos of look what I've done and look what I've finished. I'd like to say hello to, sorry, I can't sit still. I'd like to say hello to all my new subscribers. I've had a fair few of you come across. I was shouted out by Michelle of Mama Loves You GB, and also by Rachel of Stitchy Rach on their videos quite a few weeks ago now, but thank you very much to those two ladies, and hello to anybody who's come across having heard of my channel from them. I hope you enjoy what I'm going to show you. What else have I got to say? All the children are back where they should be. My eldest is back down in Bath at college down there, and the twins are back into their final year of A-level, and we'll start doing university open days soon, which actually I quite enjoy. You get to go to lots of cities that you wouldn't normally go to, I suppose. So it's always good to see. What have I... Oh, also the other thing I did was I joined in with the Common Threaded Stitcher Challenge, which was on Instagram throughout the month of August, where you got a prompt every day of having to post something. So I did it. I think I did it every day on the day, which is quite good. It was enjoyable. Not sure I'd rush to do it again, but there we go. I will start with Flosstubers. My Flosstuber shout outs. We are now down to the final, still quite a few, but this is the last load I'm going to shout out in bulk like this. So we got to the S's. So there is Stitching Brit, who is Angela, and she does a lot of heids and full coverages, and she's been talking recently about starting up an Etsy shop. So yeah, so if you like full coverages and heids, go and check out Stitching Brit. There's Stitchy Gemma. In her latest video, she's just finished Seasons Screaming by the Witchy Stitcher, and she seems to be joining in all the sales available. Rachel of Stitchy Rachel, who I've already mentioned. She has young children, and she tends to have a chicken catastrophe every time that she films, so that's always quite amusing to listen to. I think Rachel's probably biggest and best known project is her massive alphabet Afghan that she's sort of halfway through, I think now, which really is quite an impressive piece of stitching, but she has lots of other patterns and charts on the go as well. And then there's Stitchy Sally, who is a reasonably new floss tuber, I think this year again, like me. And I call her the queen of blackbird designs because she does an awful lot of blackbird design patterns and she does them very nicely. And she also likes sheep, so every now and again a sheep project gets thrown into the mix as well. There's Teresa, Little Stitcher, who I'm sure needs absolutely no introduction. She's big time into her heids and her hard hanger, and she does tutorials and stitch with me's. And Teresa Little Stitcher is currently organising a retreat with Ellie Welly Stitcher, which is being held next March in Stansted, at Stansted Airport. Well, in a hotel, not in the airport. And all the details for that are, well, the easiest place to find them is on Teresa Little Stitcher's Flosstube number 81. And if you look in the description box, I think it's about 50 minutes in. She does a whole spiel all on the retreat, how to book it, where it is, the prices, etc, etc. I have booked myself on as a day delegate for the Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that. There's the Clumsy Stitcher, who is Sarah, and she has a few caterpillar cross-stitch trees on the go, frosted pumpkin, long dog sampler. So yeah, go and check her out. There's the Diddy Stitcher, which is a mother-daughter combination, Helen and Rosie. And I think Helen mainly seems to do the cross-stitch and Rosie seems to do a lot of, I think, crochet, possibly knitting. Helen has got two pieces by Scarlet Quince, which I've never heard of before, which are quite interesting patterns, and is doing Mill Hill Christmas Village, and yeah, there's lots of stuff going on there. You've got the Diddy Stitcher, who is another Michelle. She also does knitting and crochet. She has a black work pattern on the go at the moment and two pain-free craft patterns. So, and obviously more, those are just the ones I picked out. You've got the 14th moon of Uranus, which I'm sorry, I can't say it without sniggering. Miranda, she has started Flower Stairs by Joy Sunday. She's just taken on her first Haid, and she has a Barbara Thompson kit on the go. And a pattern she showed just recently was I'm assuming it's full coverage. It's a poster for the creature from the Black Lagoon, and that's going to look really fantastic when it's stitched. I think it's going to take quite a long time to stitch, but it really will be impressive when it's done. It's interesting. You've got Christina of Whilst Iris Naps, who I'm sure everyone knows already for charting samplers. She always finds out about the girls whose samplers she's charted, so it's quite interesting to hear their stories. And she shows previous finishes of hers from, I think, the 90s and the early 2000s, which are always absolutely stunning. And she has quite a lot of blackbird whips on the go at the moment. You've got Wolf Down the Rabbit Hole, Jen. She's got a really cool pattern off Etsy, Evening in the Shire. She's making a bamboo fan, so I think she's cross-stitching the piece and then she's going to attach it to the bamboo to make the actual fan, so that'll be interesting to see. She has full coverage pieces. She's just finished a Stone Street Stitchworks piece, and she's got the We Do Disney, sort of in the rules of Disney in the house. And then there's Heather from Woolly Woolly Sheep Sheep, who also has an Etsy shop under the name Woolly Woolly Sheep Sheep, and her Etsy shop is all haberdashery, so it's lots of trims, ribbons, lace, pom-poms, needles, full works. Go and check that out. And she is currently, or in her last video, she showed the Fruits of Plenty sale by Modern Folk Embroidery and the Barbara Anna's Santa's Trip that she is working on. And then, where have I got? I've got a few more that I couldn't fit onto that page. So we're now onto the Crafty Stitches, who started, I don't know, only a couple of months ago and already have quite a few videos out. Steve and Heather, two friends that do Flosstube together, which always looks good fun. Steve also crochets as well as cross stitches. And I think they recently went to the Patchwork Rabbit Open Day, which seemed to be a lot of fun. What I last saw from their video, they've got a Little House Needleworks piece on the go, a Sleepy Hollow chart, Cryptoid Sal, Pumpkin Capri, lots of different sorts of patterns on the go, so go and check them out. And, oh, here we go. Cross Stitch Bunny. Now she popped up and she's brand new. She only has one floss tube up at the moment. Young lady called Lauren. Again, young family. She showed a whole load of previous finishes that sort of, I think, were characters from Winnie the Pooh, which aren't patterns I would initially gravitate towards, but stitched up, they are so cool. They're absolutely lovely. She's got some Emma Congdon whips, Bothy threads, pieces from the Cross Stitch magazine, Lizzie Kate pieces. So yeah, so she's at the moment she's still only got one floss tube up, so go and give her some support. And then back again because I was running out of space. So Stitchy, who I didn't catch her name, which I'm sorry, I apologise for. I've literally watched her this morning whilst I was having breakfast, whilst I was sort of preparing for this. So Stitchy, she has a Teresa Wentzler piece on the go, Quaker piece, lots of other patterns. The one, Linen and Threads 2017 Sal that she's doing at the moment. The one that amazed me was she's done a Dutch schoolgirl sampler, sort of band sampler, and she's done it on a German linen band, I think. And it was a weekly sale, and you obviously got a couple of bands every week. She's done the most gorgeous colours of purples, greens and blues of various sort of shades within those ranges. And it is huge, this piece. So it's only narrow because it's a band sampler, but she was like, showing it and showing it and showing it. And it was a bit reminiscent of when the magician pulls the flags out of his sleeve and they just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. And I think it must have been about 6 foot long by the time she finished. I think they obviously had 2 or 3 bands per week, but it is stunning and the colours are lovely on it. So yeah, so go and check out So Stitchy. I'm sorry, I don't know her name, but So Stitchy. Oh, she also does Lipstick of the Week, which I thought was quite cool. So that's it. I think that is it. Now, hopefully that is the mass shout out to all the floss tubers that I've come across from England or Northern Ireland or Wales and Scotland. Done and dusted. And we shall just, if they pop up, I will do some more. I might start shouting out some of the American, Canadian, Australian, the other ones that I watch. Anyway, on to me now, all about me. We are, my rotation has slightly gone adrift. In fact, it's completely gone adrift. I'm now moving into a new rotation phase. Ants in my pants syndrome, can't seem to get everything done that I want to get done. So I'm just making up excuses for starting new projects. But yeah, I'll show you what I've worked on and then talk it through as we go. So the first thing I have worked on is my Heaven and Earth Designs mini garden gate artwork by Amy Stewart. To excuse this really crappy printout. And I finished a page and I've done a couple of, I'm working up in this top corner here. So I finished this page down, sort of a couple of rows on here, and I've just worked a row and a bit into this side. So that's it in all its full glory. I think I was talking, not quite it, that's it in all its full glory. I think I was talking last time in July, I was struggling with, I had a seat stand that had worked very well, but now I was getting too much fabric to one side of it and it wasn't holding properly, and I was looking for a lap stand, but they were very expensive. I did buy one, and you do pay for what you get, and it's crap, so I'm not using that. So I have reverted back to a hoop and a hairband, and that's working fine at the moment. I'm quite happy with that. You'll have to excuse the crinkles on that. I'm not ironing it because I'm absolutely terrified that my grid line's going to disappear and then I'll never finish it. My next piece is from the Cricket collection, Sleepy Hollow. I started this side, I always point to the wrong side. Started this side, got it done, got a bit burnt out, put it down, picked this back up, and I had planned for during harvest time, I got a lot of outlines done and I was going to do a whole load of fill-in, so it's just nice and easy. I did do some fill-in, I didn't do as much as I had thought I was going to do, mainly because I had new whips that I wanted to do. This is quite difficult to show because it's a long piece. So I think all I've really done is filled in, hang on, excuse me, sorry. All I've really done is filled in the whole, the angel in the hill. But I will be coming back to this, I think, starting on this again today and giving it a good week. And this is on fabric Ada from Megan at Coffee Craft Fabrics on Facebook. So yeah. My next piece is the Waxing Moon Designs monthly sampler. I'm on to March. I started in October and I'm through to March, so I've still got a good few months to go yet. I'm beginning to lose steam with these, but at least I've sort of got 6 months grace, I suppose. And then every month that I do gives me another month. So this is March. Sorry, it's not very easy to read. The spring wind blows with all its might. It calls to us, come fly your kite. This is as far as I've got. Now this is a week's worth of work and it is very heavy stitching down here. From here upwards, apart from this band across the top, will go a lot quicker. I will probably do another week of this in the mornings as my morning stitch, see how far I can go, and I'll just keep on plodding away on this, pulling it out. I do enjoy them, but they are a lot more stitching than you sort of think or assume to begin with. Another piece I worked on was my Owl Forest embroidery. I'm sorry for the black and white photo. Merry Christmas. And I have finished the Y. So I now have Merry. Excuse the little S, that's going to go in the bin. So I now have Merry. I really enjoy this when I get going on it. At one point I was only pulling it out. I was putting it out on the 24th, 25th and 26th as my Christmas whip. And I could get a letter done in that time frame. Again, everything is now moving to a week's work on it. So I'm hoping I will get 2 letters done on the next time it comes out. I doubt this will be done for Christmas. I suppose it could be if I put my mind to it, but then I'd have to finish it. Finishing isn't my forte, so we'll just plod along and deal with finishing it next year. My next project that I've worked on is Apple from, I'm saying Nimri, probably saying it wrong, I'm sorry. Now this was actually a restart. I had been stitching this as Dark October stitching, so on the 13th and I think the 31st. Yeah. And I was stitching it 25 count over 1, and it was on quite a dark, I haven't got it with me, it was on a darker linen that I'd sort of tea and coffee dyed, and it had gone quite dark. And I was really, really struggling with it. The chart isn't the easiest to read in the first place. I've had to photocopy it and enlarge it. I'm having to highlight it as I go, which I mean, I don't highlight for my Haid, I don't highlight for anything. I'm having to highlight this one. But so and it got to the point where I didn't want to work on it anymore, but I really like the chart. I don't like to be beaten. So I have changed it to a 28, I think, count, might be 28, might be 27 count linen that I got given from my friend Chris. And I've basically got back to where I was and passed a little bit more, not a huge amount more. And I'm really, really enjoying it now. I'm very pleased I've done this. It will obviously be significantly bigger. Sorry, excuse me, I'll still try and hold it. Initially, so I think I did the 2 little elves. The elves, pixies, elves. Did the 2 little men first. And then I was working along and sort of doing each colour, and then it started getting, because some of the colours are so similar to each other. So I am now just block stitching and going. But I'm really, really enjoying it. They've still got back stitch to come in, which will make a huge difference, I'm sure. So I'm hoping, I worked on that quite a lot, A, to catch up, and B, because it's also just one of those smaller projects I quite like to get finished and done and dusted. So I'm hoping that sort of another week's worth or so of work on that, either in the morning or the evening, and I will get it done. Now, another project I have worked on that you probably won't see a huge amount of progress on this is, and excuse me for butchering this, Eloise Cornu 1896 version rouge from Reflet de Soie. So this is the chart, excuse glare. And I am using this, not quite up to Nicole's standards, sorry. Dog-eared. I am using this thread. You can see the changing in the colours of the red there. It's lovely, lovely. Now this, I couldn't remember what it was last time. Hugs and Kisses and it is Cottage Garden Threads from Australia. And I found this at Poppy Patch, which is actually a quilt shop, Poppy Patch in Northamptonshire. So if you Google Poppy Patch, go in, you'll find it under their sort of cotton section, and they've got a huge range of it. And that's the only place I've ever found it. Not that I've really been looking for it, but it's the only place I've ever noticed it to be. So here's the work. Now this is being done on, I didn't think to say of the others, but they're all fairly generic. This is being done on 36 count vellum, which I think is from Foxglove and Lace Linen. And I think when I first started, I only had about sort of up to here done. So I've moved across this top border, really enjoying it. I was at one point doing this as a thread a day, you know, red thread a day. Although actually I was also started this as part of a sow with red thread with a friend. So yeah, I was using it as a thread a day. I actually got quite a lot of progress, but inevitably I was doing more than one thread. I'd sit there and sort of do 3 or 4 or 5. But again, this will just come out for a week's worth at some point. It's a beast of a border. It's all right. I mean, it's enjoyable to stitch, but it is a beast of a border. And then we are on to new starts. I started at the beginning of August. I started with Ellie Stitcher, who has a Flosstube, and Stitching Whippet on Instagram joined us. We decided to start Fancy Blacket, The Harvest Dance by Pinebury Lane. And I think it's under the hashtag Fancy Harvest Sal on Instagram. Before I show you the piece, sorry, bring it back in. Reasonably primitive piece. Nice, dull, muted colours, just, you know, quiet, primitive. I decided I wasn't buying those colours because I have lots of anchor threads on bobbins that I bought a box for £5 off Marketplace at some point. I converted the anchor floss to the DMC equivalent, and I've got it all in a box, and that's absolutely fine. And I decided, because it was only a small chart, I was going to use some of those up. And then I've also used some other threads that I already had, the DMC threads that I already had. Can I just say, I hate bobbins. Hate them with a passion. It's all of this, I mean, it's all of these bits just drive me insane. Anyway, I'm working the piece on 27 count even weave, which again is another Megan from Coffee Craft fabric. I've done a Christmas box and a Easter box, so this came in one of these. And I have taken a very primitive jot and I've thrown a bag of Skittles at it. Yeah, I do like it. Probably would prefer, Stitching Whippet has already finished hers and it looks stunning, and she has done it in the Call for colours, and I probably would have preferred it. I think it's all working together fine, but I think and I do like the Fancy Blacket, and I will be doing more of her charts, and I will do them in the primitive style. I think, apart from anything else, the stress of trying to work out the colours, it's just beyond me in my little brain. And then I haven't written down various bits that I've done, so I've got different colours in some of these leaves, but hey ho, there we go. So this is my progress so far. I have changed, the wording was Fancy Blacket, and I've changed it to Harvest Dance. This caused quite a sweat. Maths is not my forte. I thought I'd worked it all out. I fitted it all in. And then I started with the E, because I'd come down this side first. So I started with the E, worked my way back to dance, and then thought, right, well, I'll work my way across and start at H, because I want to make sure it lines up with this border correctly where it should be. Hence the fact we've got some feet and a squirrel leg. Got to this side, started the H, I think probably got to about R. I went, oh God, I'm stitching over 2, not over 1. And I've only really sort of accounted for it being stitched over 1. But somehow it's worked. Don't ask me how, but it has. So there we go. So I have worked on this for the last week, so this probably won't come out again until October. And then hopefully in a week I'll get this finished in October. But I'm really enjoying it. So yes, go and have a look at Stitching Whippet on Instagram. Has finished hers and it looks lovely. And then another new start I had, which I think we'd finished onto our last day of harvest. And I was just like, oh, do you know what? I'm having a new start just to celebrate the fact that harvest is in. And I've had this chart for a long time now. And it's one of the first ones I ever bought. And I bought it from a charity shop in a town near where my mum lives. And it's a Diane, I'm going to say Greibner Designs. I probably said that incorrectly. And it's a tiny, tiny, tiny little picture. But it's a very, obviously it's an Amish scene, very 80s. But I absolutely love it. And oh, no, you can't see it on there. On the chart, all around here are snowflakes of individual stitches. And even in my very early years, I'm not doing that. So I bought some, I think, opalescent, basically glittery, I think possibly 25 count or 20 count Lugana. And this is the start I've made so far. And I love it. I love stitching on it. Really, really enjoying this. This went reasonably quickly. I think I probably did about 3 days on this. So yeah, so I'm really enjoying that. And I'm very pleased I'm not doing all the individual snowflakes. And then another new start I had. And I had planned this start. I just forgot to talk about it in July. So basically I have I have a drawer full of charts, which I'm very lucky to have. And a lot of them seem to be big charts. So I'm very drawn to big charts or small charts that you can turn into pillows or, you know, what have you. And I was sort of trying not to start too many things. And then I sort of got to the point, I think, well, by the time I've worked through all of those, if I don't start it, it could be about 8 years until I get to that chart. Whereas if I start it and just do a week every now and again and keep on keeping it in the rotation, it will probably take me 8 years to get it stitched. But at least it will be done rather than in 8 years' time, only just starting it. So I thought for this year, from July, I was going to start every 2 months. I was going to pull a bigger chart out of the drawer and start it and get it into my rotation. And then I changed it slightly, so I'm still doing it every 2 months, but every now and again I'll just throw a smaller chart in. So I haven't just got hundreds of huge charts that aren't being worked on. And this is what I picked up for in September. So this is from Nikki's Creations Primitives Country Village, it's called. And I got this as a PDF from her Etsy shop. It's got quilts in it, so you know I'm going to stitch it. Now I have started this on 32 count truffle linen from Evafaith, who is Snail's Garden Evafaith on, or is she just the Snail's Garden on Instagram? I'll put it in the description box below, sorry. And so again, I worked on this, gave this about a week, and this is my progress so far. And I'm really enjoying it. I have used the call for threads. Yeah, and I'm really pleased. And then the second, or my last start, I started with Rachel, Stitchy Rach, for her birthday at the beginning of September. She has the hashtag Rachel's Garden Birthday Sow. She started Kathy Barrett chart, which is a huge seed growing or seed sowing chart is probably the best way to call it. And I absolutely love it, but I do just think, oh, that's going to take long. I keep on looking at it and thinking, we'll see, we'll see. Anyway, she said to start a Kathy Barrett or anything with gardens in it, and join in with Sal. So I thought, well, that's a good excuse. And I had just purchased a few Kathy Barrett charts. So I started a fine farmhouse. and I've used all the called for threads, I think, and just because it was easier, I started on the other piece of fabric. So this again is on 32 count linen truffle, and that was the start. I'd only done a day's worth, or probably a night and a morning on this. I think her birthday fell on the Saturday, which is never a great stitching night for me, basically because it's gin and tonic night. So yeah, so that was my start, and I will look forward to getting back to this. And then the one chart I haven't shown, which you will have seen a lot of recently, is because I have finished it. Fully finished it. Is out of the Winds of Autumn book from Blackbird Designs. And it is First Winds of Autumn. I've never made a strawberry. Apparently I still haven't made a strawberry. According to John, it looks more like a sugar beet than it does a strawberry. It is very wonky. But here we go. So, just fluff. Let me just fluff. Oh, God's sake, sorry. Right, anyway. So there you go. So there is the stitched piece. It's an absolute beast of a strawberry. It is really more sugar beet like. I think it was called for on 36. I've done it on 32, and I've managed to increase the size of the bird by 2 stitches. Fortunately, I did the outline of the bird before I did a lot of everything else, so everything else is still within where it should be. But my bird is just, you know, getting ready for winter, obviously fattening up for winter. He's got 2 extra stitches in him. So yeah, so that's finished, and I've used some pretty batiks for my leaves on the top. So yeah, I love it. I mean, it is a ridiculous sized strawberry. It's very wonky, which just means it, you know, it should be in the wonky fruit and veg section of Morrison's, and it is obviously homemade. But there we go. So that's my first strawberry. So that is all the whips that I have worked on since July. Yeah, it is. I mean, I still have a few whips in my basket that I haven't touched, but they'll be coming up soon. And basically my plan is just to, as I've said, I'm now going to choose 2 projects a week, one to stitch on in the mornings and one to stitch on in the evenings. Things like, if I'm getting close to a finish, I will just take that project into the next month and do it in the mornings. And eventually what I'd like to do when I've got rid of all these Sal pieces and hashtag pieces and things is to have smalls on the go for in the morning and have big charts in the evening, because I can get quite a bit of stitching time in the evening. And so hopefully sort of over a week's worth, I'll make a decent amount of progress into them. Whereas I was finding with some of my bigger charts, just having a day, 2 days, you know, I wasn't getting enough progress, and occasionally one of the days I wouldn't get any progress, and yeah, so that's the end of my projects. We are now into haul. If you're not a haul person, now is the time for you to leave, I'm afraid. I'm not going to apologise for it, but I have bought a lot of stuff. So let's start. Actually, we can start with some Stitchy kindness. That where is it here? Very kindly, Sharon of Nana McStuffing sent me some of her floss drop cards, and this was the card that she had designed. Now, I had resisted the temptation of getting involved in the floss drops, and then I saw Sharon's had posted hers on Instagram. I said, oh, that's so lovely, that reminds me of the pictures. My mum gets the Country Living diary every year, so that looks like such a picture out of the Country Living diary. It's so pretty. And she said, well, I'll send you some. And I said, well, I haven't done any yet. He said, that's fine, I'll send you some. So of course, then I had to go and do some. And I have to say, I did find it quite stressful. I'm not technology-wise, I'm not fantastic anyway. I was trying to do it on my very old iPad that, you know, is now at the stage where when you type something in and you want to delete it, you sort of press delete and nothing happens. You press delete and nothing happens. Press it and nothing happens. And then about 2 minutes later, it goes, and the whole word disappears. Anyway, so she sent it with this lovely card of Padstone. so I went on and I did it, and my cards will be arriving theoretically 23rd of September. I have gone for the safe option. I've seen all these people doing it, and they've just got some fantastic pictures on their cards. And I was like, oh, I could do this. And I thought, no. I've gone for the safe option, and I do like it. And I hope people will swap with me when I get mine, because I'd like some of your cards because they're really cool. So that was my happy mail from Sharon, Nana McStuffing. So thank you very much, Sharon. It's very kind of you. And now we're on to haul. So I have bought 3 pieces of fabric from Northumberland Sampler House. Now, she dyes these fabrics, and she also restores and maintains samplers, older samplers. Sorry. Here we go. Your continued support ensures more antique is the word I was looking for, antique samplers can be conserved for future generations. Now, Northumberland Sampler House on Instagram, but if you're looking for her on Etsy, it's North Sampler House. It took me a long time to find her. Eventually got her. Absolutely love her fabrics. So I have got 32 count. Oh yeah, no, sorry. 32 count wet sand, which is this. It's just lovely, 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 lovely. Took 32 count latte. So you probably can't see that very well. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm holding that up. Which again, lovely, lovely, lovely. And finally, I branched out and I bought a 40 count parchment. Now I bought this because it was only a small piece, it wasn't very expensive. And I thought, well, on 40 count, I'll still be able to fit something on it. And it's just intriguing for me to see whether I can actually see it or not. So this is the 40 count parchment, which again is a lovely, lovely colour. I can just see it. I don't know, we'll see. I think I'll have to start something and I'll either get into it or I won't. And if I won't, that'll be sent on to probably Chris, because I know she works on higher counts than I do. I then have whole leaf charts. So, Sassy Girl on Instagram, who designed the pandemic sampler from 2020 that I'm stitching, she's had a few more patterns out, but this one caught my eye. And you'll have to excuse it, I'm sorry, we have no magenta apparently in our printer, so everything it's just a really crappy printout. But you get the general gist, and it's lovely, lovely, lovely. So I thought, right. So I've bought that, which is Raven's Flower Bowl, Sassy Girl. Somebody on Instagram I follow has already stitched it and finished it, and it looks fantastic. Great colours, as I said, it's just my printer, I'm afraid. And then the second one is comes from Monica's Stitching Studio. Again, this was an Etsy shop, and it's the Scarecrow sampler, and I'm sorry, this is an even worse picture, but just try and imagine it all with autumnal colours. But it's very pretty. So it's nice small, so I thought I'll give that a go. Expo has been and gone. I have 4 charts on pre-order that all sort of are set together. But the one chart that just, the minute I saw it, I've got to have that, is from Brenda Keys of the Sampler Company. Sorry, the Sampler Company. And this is the Tall Ships Sampler. And I just love this. Absolutely love this. And I will be starting this on December the 13th in memory of my father, who was a keen sailor. And it says, I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and sky, or it could be lovely, lovely lonely sea and sky. And all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. So yeah, that'll be a December the 13th start. I bought this is the Patchwork Rabbit's fault. They keep on putting on Instagram, pre-order now. And I think, oh, I've got to order it in case it runs out. And so I got the Cross Stitch Halloween magazine. yeah, there's not a huge amount of things out of here that I'm going to do. Ditto with the Christmas. And I have had a subscription, a digital subscription. I haven't really used it. I'll be cancelling it next year. Yeah, there's a few things, but not a lot. Sorry, probably the only person in the world to say that about that magazine. And with that one, I also got the Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee because everyone else had it, so I had to have it too. And my favourite one from this, which of course is the one that is not on the front cover, is Broomhilda. She's really cool. So yeah, I'll look forward to doing those at some point. Off Stash Unload, I think this was from Stitchy Sally actually. It's Blackbird design, so it's quite likely to be. I got Early Christmas Morning, the round pinky. Also from her, I picked up the Berries and Robin, which is a project that she has just finished. And I've always liked this. It's been in my cart for a long time. And I kept on commenting on her video saying how much I loved it. And when she realised she was selling me the Blackbird Designs chart, she said, would you like this one as well? Yes, please. So, again, Patchwork Rabbit. I bought the Sisters Blackbird Designs book. I love this book, and I will say I'm probably the only person in the world, but my favourite chart is not the crow chart, but is this, which is Witch No More. Love that. I just love the colours in that. Maybe even enough that I might buy the overdyed for that, but then possibly not. And then the final thing I bought, which was off of a Stash Unload, and I actually bought it, sorry, that's not the final thing I bought, I've got a bag down there. The other thing I bought off of Stash Unload, these Fragments in Time, excuse me, from Summer House Stitchworks. Now these aren't the charts that they thought, my fault, not my fault completely, but actually I really do quite like them. So you've just got lots of very small, they are 50 by 50. And I did think I might do them all either on the same count but different colours, you know, just gradations in the colour, and try and finish them on the bobbin and have them hanging down, or I might just do it as a sample piece. I don't know, we shall see. But there are some letters in the alphabet missing, which I know is how it is, but it does annoy me. It's just one of those I'm like, ugh! Why can we not just have those letters as well? Sorry, there's the last one. But yeah, so they're lovely, and they'll be hopefully reasonably quick stitches when I get round to them. Then, sorry, there's more haul. Then we went walking the other week. We had a couple of days away, and John said, oh, he's walking around the coast. He's tried to walk around the coast of Britain. So, you know, I'm near Great Yarmouth, so we go to Great Yarmouth for a couple of days, and so we can walk in and stay overnight and then walk out of it. If we have to. Okay then. And he said, oh, have a look, there might be a quilt shop or a needlework. He knows how to get around me. There might be a quilt shop or a needlework shop there. I thought, unlikely. So I looked it up, and there is Northgate Needlecraft, which is just a full-on local needle workshop. It is fantastic. It's in the middle of Great Yarmouth. I've never come across it before on Google. And it's just 2 little rooms, floor to ceiling, full of everything. The first room is, well, she has, it's no point doing that. She has fabrics, lots of different types of fabrics, different makes, different colours, different size counts. Lots and lots of charts. She has a lot of Just Nan, Nora Corbett. She has like the alphabet fairies, are they called? Lots of Mirabilias, lots of Victorian samplers, lots of Jeanette Douglas's. I'd say a lot of her stuff is older, but there are a lot of, and then every now and again there's a little sort of snippet that you go, oh my God. Okay. So lots and lots of patterns, full ranges of flosses, DMCs. I think she had Weeks Dye Works, not colour and cotton, Gentle Arts, I think she had. She had silks of various makes of silks. She had all the Krynics, lots and lots of threads, all well stocked as well. Have I talked about the fabrics? Lots of fabrics, all different colours and different counts. Hoops, needles, trims, just the full shebang of everything you would want in a local needle workshop. So Northgate Needlecraft in Great Yarmouth, and she is online. Not all of her stock is online, but she is online, and if you're looking for something specific, it's probably best to phone up and ask. Lovely, lovely lady, very kind. I'd walk 10 miles to get at quite a fast pace. So I said to John, if we don't get there, having walked 10 miles, I'm not going to be happy if she's shut by the time we get there. So she kept on trying to offer me cups of tea and cold drinks and all the rest of it. Lovely, lovely, lovely lady. So I went to town, basically, in the shop. I think for me, patterns are patterns. I don't tend to use over-dyed threads, so I normally go for DMC, but it's the fabrics. And for me, being a newer stitcher, you know, I see all these different lovely coloured fabrics, and I think, well, if I can't see it, I can't see it. So it's really nice to be able to get into a shop, pick it up, look at it and go, yes, I can see that. I'll be able to stitch on that. Fantastic. So I will start with all the fabrics that I purchased. The first, I'm sorry, I'm taking all these out of the packages. The first and the biggest amount that I got is 32 count vintage country mocha from Zygarde. And it is lovely. Everyone always raves about this. I've never seen it. It's fantastic. But this is the one that's printed, so the other side is the lighter colour but plain. So do you need to bear that in mind when I start my chart, because you can guarantee that I will start on the wrong side. I then got 32 count weeks dye work pumpkin. Oh yeah, look, you see, it was towards the end, so I just said I'll just take it all, thank you very much. So this is very bright in your face. I might keep it like this. I might dunk it in a bit of tea and coffee just to tone it down a bit, but that will no doubt have a Halloween piece in black on it, I should imagine. I picked up a 36 count weeks dye work straw, only a little piece of this. I thought, well, I will be able to see whether I can use it or not. Everyone raves about straw. It is a lovely colour. I can see the holes, so I'm pleased with that. I got 32 count Permin linen French lace. So this is a lovely, just off-white, very neutral but very pretty piece of fabric. Again, I can see the holes, so I can stitch on it. Now, I've wanted some of these for ages, and really the only place I've ever really been able to find them is on the Fat Quarter Shop. And obviously with the shipping, it just, again, with the shipping and not knowing whether I can actually see it or not, I've never gone down that route. 28 count Graziano natural cream, but basically it's the sort of gingham check fabric. Love it. I already know what I'm stitching on that. And then the other one of those is an R&R fabric gingham, R&R gingham. I don't know what count. I think it's, looking at it, it's probably 32 count, I would have thought. Again, love it. I think I know what I'm stitching on that. 36 count R&R Hog Wild Blue. Again, smalls. I'll be using these for smalls. But this is, and it's not showing up. It's a sort of, it's a green with darker brown bits on it, and then streaks of blue that sort of run through it. But it's absolutely fantastic. And so I'm showing you all these rather scrappy ends. She has got much, but it just happens with these ones. This was all that she had left, and I thought, well, you know, as I said, I'll use it for smalls, it'll be fine. And then I got a bigger piece of this 32 count vintage grey from Zweigart. Now I've never seen this before. Again, it's one-sided, but it's all this sort of greeny grey blue mottling on it. But it's not really it's not too in your face mottling. And I did say, because I liked it, and I said, oh, what would you stitch on it? Because I don't think I'd really put a sampler on it. And she said, well, you could do anything seaside-y or, you know, anything like that on it, which I will do. So that was all the fabric. And then I had a look at her charts, because it would have been rude not to. And I might have bought some. So, now in my defense, this is a lot of haul, but in my defense, I am 45. Am I 45 or am I 46? Whatever, I'm 45 or 46. I've never been to Great Yarmouth before in my life. So, you know, it's not something I'm going to be doing on a regular basis. So whilst I was there, I was going to make the most of it. And that is my local needle workshop. And that is still 2.5 hours down the road, which I appreciate for you people in America is probably just the school run. But for us in England, it's a bit of a trip. So I went all out. I bought this 12 Days Beautiful Sampler and Ornaments from Victoria Sampler. I don't know if you can see that particularly very well, but obviously it goes through the first of the 12 days of Christmas. I will not be doing hard angle bit on bottom. You know, I thought, oh, that's lovely, that's really pretty. I've now got into it and there are a lot of speciality stitches. So I might have bitten off more than I can chew with that one, but I'll give it a go. We'll see how we get on. And then this one I found, oh my God, you've got that. I'll take that, thank you. So Caroline Amelia trowel with thy needle and thread. She did also have the Winter Rose Manor chart. And I know everyone went wild for that last year, but for me personally, it's a big house. I'm not a huge, big house fan. But this one I've loved since it's been out, and I've always thought, oh, I'd quite like that. So I got it. I picked up Summer Gingham from Twisted Threads. So that will be going on that piece of fabric. It'll be a nice quick stitch. Picked up another Rosewood Manor chart, Wise Owl. I'm going to have a sayings wall, essentially. I've got a couple of pieces that I haven't finished yet that will go on to that. And this says, there was an owl who lived in an oak. The more he heard, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. Oh, if men were like that wise bird. So, I like that. So I'm going to stitch that. I bought Magic Garden Sampler by Shakespeare's Peddler. Love that design. This is Seology by The Trilogy. And those will be going more than likely on my vintage grey from Zweigart. And then this is the last chart, and again this will be going on that same fabric. It's another Victoria Sampler chart, Seaside Garden Sampler. I just think that's so pretty. And then I think because I had shopped until I dropped, she very kindly gave me a little floss keep. So this is, it says eat, stitch and be merry. So I will use this for a monochromatic piece, I should imagine, probably. Well, I might either use it for that, or I could use it for my long dog sampler where I've got a lot of thread changes in the border. That would be great. And a pen, because who doesn't need a pen? And on it, probably not focusing, sorry, www.northgateneedlecraft.co.uk. And that, I think that is now it. Oh, it's still at 54 minutes. I was hoping this would be half an hour or so. I think a lot of it is taken up with the Flosstube shout up, so hopefully it'll be quicker next time. So if you've made it this far, thank you very much. I will be back probably in a couple of weeks' time with a quilty tube. Other than that, I'll be back in the middle of October with more stitching, hopefully. I can't remember what I've put in. I have worked out the next 2 weeks of September what I will be stitching on, and then in October it's all up in the air and we'll see what I pull out of the basket. So I don't know if I said it at the very beginning, but I hope you all had a good, back half of July and August and middle half of September. Hope you all either got away on holiday or had a good staycation or did what you wanted to do or met up with people you would like to have met up with. Yeah, and that's it really. So have a super end to your September, and I hope October starts well for you. And if I don't see you on my quilty tube, then I hope you'll come and catch back up with me in the middle of October for my cross stitching. Take care. Bye.